The transport ship shuddered as it dropped out of hyperspace, and Marcus Reed pressed his face against the viewport to catch his first glimpse at Nexus Station. The massive orbital platform stretched across the void like a metallic city, its countless lights twinkling against the star-filled darkness. Somewhere within those gleaming corridors, the galaxy's most fearsome warriors were preparing for the Crimson Gauntlet, a tournament so brutal that only 1 in 50 contestants survived to see the final round. Marcus adjusted his simple cloth tunic and ran a hand through his brown hair. He carried no weapons, no armor, no technological enhancements that marked the other passengers as seasoned fighters. The Vexian mercenary sitting across from him had been sharpening his plasma claws for the entire journey, while the hulking Gorvac warrior near the door tested the charge on his neural disruptor every few minutes. They all looked at Marcus with expressions ranging from confusion to outright pity. "Human," the Vexian hissed through his translator, "you do realize this tournament has a 98% casualty rate, correct?" Marcus nodded calmly. "I'm aware of the statistics." The Vexian's mandibles clicked in what might have been laughter. "And you bring nothing but the clothes on your back. Sometimes that's enough." 3 hours later, Marcus stood in the registration hall, surrounded by creatures that could tear him apart without breaking stride. The tournament organizers, a species of crystalline beings called the Nexari, processed each contestant with mechanical efficiency. When Marcus reached the front of the line, the registration officer's light patterns flickered in what he had learned was confusion. "Species designation, human," the Nexari intoned in its musical voice. "Weapons registered, none. Armor classification, none. Enhancement level, baseline organic." "That's correct," Marcus replied. "This unit must inform you that the Crimson Gauntlet has resulted in the termination of every previous human participant. Your species has a 0% survival rate in this competition." Marcus shrugged. "There's a first time for everything." Opening ceremony took place in an arena that could hold 1 million spectators. Holographic displays showed the faces and statistics of the most dangerous contestants. Thane the Destroyer, a cybernetically enhanced Krolton with 73 confirmed. Kills, Vex Prime, an artificial intelligence housed in a nearly indestructible combat chassis. And at the very top of the projected rankings stood Kira, the reigning champion. Marcus studied her image carefully. She was humanoid, but clearly not human, with silver skin that seemed to shimmer and eyes like molten gold. The statistics beside her portrait were staggering. 5 consecutive tournament victories, over 200 confirmed eliminations, and a combat rating that exceeded anything he had ever seen. She was beautiful in the way a supernova was beautiful, magnificent, and absolutely deadly. The first round began at dawn station time. Marcus found himself in a maze-like combat zone filled with energy barriers, plasma traps, and automated defense systems. His first opponent was a 4-armed insectoid warrior whose chitinous armor could deflect most energy weapons. The creature charged immediately, expecting easy prey. Marcus waited until the last possible second, then sidestepped with fluid grace. The insectoid's momentum carried it headfirst into an energy barrier, and the resulting feedback fried its nervous system. Instantly, Marcus moved on without looking back. By the 3rd round, word had spread through the arena about the strange human who fought without weapons. Spectators began placing bets on how long he would last, though none expected him to survive past the quarterfinals. Marcus continued to advance through a combination of patience, timing, and an almost supernatural ability to turn his opponent's aggression against them. In the semifinals, he faced Vex Prime. The artificial being was a masterwork of engineering, equipped with every possible advantage. It analyzed Marcus for several seconds before speaking. "Your combat style does not match any known martial art in my database," Vex Prime observed. How do you fight so effectively without weapons? Marcus circled slowly, never taking his eyes off the machine. I don't fight, I just don't lose. The battle lasted 3 hours. Marcus avoided every attack, deflected every strike, and gradually led the AI into overextending itself until its power cells were drained. When Vex Prime finally shut down, Marcus was barely breathing hard. The finals would be fought at the arena's center stage, broadcast across the entire galaxy. As Marcus entered the combat zone, he saw Kira waiting for him. Up close, she was even more impressive, tall and graceful, moving with the fluid confidence of someone who had never known defeat. I have studied recordings of your previous matches, she said, her voice carrying a slight accent he couldn't place. You are unlike any fighter I've encountered. You're pretty unique yourself. She smiled, and for a moment, her deadly reputation seemed to fade. I have held the championship for 5 years. No one has ever lasted more than 10 minutes against me. Maybe it's time for a change. The match began unlike any of the previous rounds. Kira didn't rush forward in blind aggression. She was far too skilled for that. Instead, she tested Marcus with quick strikes and probing attacks, trying to understand his defensive patterns. Marcus responded in kind, never attacking but always moving, always adapting. As the fight progressed, something strange happened. Their movements began to synchronize, creating a deadly dance that mesmerized the watching crowd. Marcus realized that Kira wasn't just fighting him, she was studying him, learning from him, matching his rhythm with growing excitement. Incredible, she breathed during a brief pause. You fight like water. You fight like lightning. Together, we could be unstoppable, Marcus finished. The crowd had fallen silent, sensing that something unprecedented was happening. Kira lowered her weapons and stepped closer to Marcus. Her golden eyes searched his face. I have never met anyone who could match me like this, she said softly. In my culture, when two warriors achieve perfect balance, it signifies what? Does it signify that they are meant to be paired for life? Marcus felt something shift in his chest, a recognition that went beyond mere attraction. Is that a proposal? Kira's smile lit up the entire arena. According to tournament law, if the defending champion chooses to bond with their challenger rather than defeat them, both become co-champions. I didn't know that was an option. It has never happened before. But then, no human has ever made it this far either. Marcus extended his hand, and Kira took it without hesitation. The crowd erupted in confusion and excitement as the tournament officials scrambled to consult ancient regulations. After much debate, they confirmed that the bonding clause was indeed legitimate. The ceremony took place that same evening, broadcast across every inhabited system in the galaxy. Marcus Reed, the human who had entered the tournament unarmed and survived through impossible odds, stood beside Kira as they were declared the first co-champions in Crimson Gauntlet history. As they exchanged vows according to her people's traditions. Marcus couldn't help but smile. He had come to the tournament seeking a challenge, but he had found something far more valuable. Sometimes the greatest victory wasn't defeating your opponent. It was finding someone worth fighting alongside for the rest of your life. The galaxy would remember this tournament for centuries to come, not for its violence or spectacle, but for proving that even in the deadliest arenas, love could triumph over all odds. Chat controls Sonnet 4.